I think he was one of the most incredible human beings that I read about in the last couple of centuries. He had a vision which at his time was literally, as people even claimed on, literally a heretic, both in terms of his religious connotations as well as the social standing. But I think he was an incredible human being because of the impact that he could have and the realization that he had of the value and importance of education. And I believe that one of the greatest things that happened to the Muslims, especially in the last few hundred years, last 300-400 years, is the way they classified knowledge. The classification of knowledge, from modern versus, religious education. And in Islam, there is no such classification. In Islam, classification of knowledge is based on ilm nafi' and ghair nafi', which is essentially knowledge that is beneficial. So he, I think, realized and understood that and worked towards creating a platform, creating a base to establish an institution which would become the backbone of the community. And I think it has served a great purpose. It has transformed societies, transformed individuals, and we have, in fact, the impact is on a global scale because we have leaders, more than 200 leaders I met at one of the conferences, which has come out of this institution. So the impact is incredible. And number two is the scale. The scale of the impact is phenomenal. If this is just one institution inspired by one individual, it is an amazing feat which very few in the nation have done. So for me, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is a great individual, not only on a personal model, on an educational model, but as a global reformer, as a reformer for the Indian community. I remember one of the incidents about him, which I heard as a child from my uncle who studied and my family who studied in the institution. And that shows a lot about his dedication and his passion to the subject and how he dedicated his life to this. I heard he was invited, or he went to visit the Nizam of Hyderabad and the Nawabs in Hyderabad. And they invited him for dinner, and he wanted to throw a party in his honor because they respected him, they regarded him as a great individual as well as an intellectual, or rather an institution. So he asked the host, "Tell me, how much money are you going to spend in my honor in this party?" And the person gave an amount. He said, "Can you please give me that amount? Don't waste money in honoring me in a party. Just give me that money. I need this money to make this institution and to pay the salaries and to build a base so I can educate these children." He said, "Okay, here's the money." Then the next time he says, "Yes, I'm still going to do the party in your honor." And he asked him again, "How much are you going to spend?" He said, "This much." He said, "Give me the money." Yeah, so he took the money and he put it in the institution. And then again, the same story happened, and his host said, "No, I have given you this money, but I still want to honor you and have my friends meet you to get inspired from you and your story." So another incident where there were a lot of course, people who were, whenever you take up and start a cause, you have to be crazy about it. And I think he was one of those people who was crazy about the cause that he was working for. So we need to have people who are role models for us. And these instances about a person's personal life speaks volumes about their character, their values, and their value systems. So they actually walk the talk. And I think the greatest reward he has is with Almighty, because there's no amount of reward or remuneration or compensation. And I think that is the perpetual charity that he worked for. And we remember him in our prayers. And not only us, we know millions of people who have been influenced by his work and his life.